Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how you can generate XML file for a Windows 11 when you're installing it. So this is really good because it saves a lot of time when you install Windows 11. It will do everything automatically for you. You just plug in your USB and then from then on it will just automatically install every step that you set up. I will show you in this tutorial how I set up it, and you can do it as well. So let's get started and see how you can do it. So the first thing here, we go to this website where it says generate autounattended XML file for Windows 10 and Windows 11. As you can see here, it says all that it does. It basically makes automatic install on Windows 10 and Windows 11. So if you scroll a little bit down here, you will see here you will choose your display language. For me it will be English here. So here, as you can see, keyboard layout, you can choose everything here. Here, home location, everything you can choose from here. This for processor architecture, I'm suggesting you to select this AMD 64-bit. Now you can select here multiple architectures if you want. You just press on Ctrl and then it will select multiple of them. But for now, I just want the 64-bit because my CPU is 64-bit, and you can check other settings right now here. Here we're gonna click on this bypass Windows 11 requirement, check TPM, secure boot, and many more things here. Make sure this is checked. This we're gonna leave on default, otherwise you do it without the internet connection, but we will leave it for now here on default. Here, hide any PowerShell windows during Windows setup. This is really critical to have this enabled, because if this comes up and you accidentally click on X or something like that, accidentally click on the X, you stop the process and everything will stop. So I suggest you to do this, to enable this as well. Here we're gonna let this Windows generate around the computer from name. Otherwise, if you want to change it, of course, but I'm gonna let it here. Now here on a compact OS, I do highly recommend you to not use the compact OS, because it will use a lot more CPU, because it will try to compress all the Windows files on your PC and it will lose a lot more of your CPU. So I do recommend you to not choose this compact OS. This is only if you have problem with your space requirement, if you have really small amount of space on your hard disk, on your SSD. But I do recommend you, if this is on your main PC, definitely choose this, do not use compact OS. Now the next thing here, we're gonna let this as well on the default. Now here's very important here, partitioning and formatting. This is very important right here, because partition the disk interactively during the Windows. If you select this one, you will be asked where you want the Windows to be installed during the setup. So we don't want this, because we want this to be automatically installed. We're gonna click on this second option here, and here is a warning, because for example it will install, as you can see here, Windows setup while partition format your hard drive. It will be on disk 0. So I definitely, if you are not sure here what you're gonna do, because you can actually delete your hard drive by mistake. So here I do suggest you to unplug all of your hard disk and SSD. For example, if you want to be on your SSD Windows installed, just unplug every other drives before you put the USB, because if, for example, is the other drive that you have files on it, everything will be deleted. So I do strongly suggest you to just unplug all your hard disk drives and just leave the drive that you want Windows to be installed, and that's it. It should not be a problem then. Hard drive that you want to install, just make sure just that one is plugged in, that you want to install Windows. Others you can unplug and all that stuff, because you don't want to accidentally by mistake delete all of your files. from the other drives. This we're gonna leave this on we're gonna leave this on default. This we're gonna leave everything at default here. So we're gonna scroll all the way down. This is the new beta version. Again, we're gonna not run any scripts right here. Here we're gonna select which one of the edition we want of Windows. It will, as you can see, you can choose here Windows Home, Windows Pro. You can choose any of these versions. So I'm gonna go with Pro. So that's it. Product key to automatically activate your PC, and these two options here you can just type in manually yourself to type in the key, the product key, and here you can use the store bias UEFI firmware, but I do suggest you to use this another product key here, or just use this. It will not ask for any, it will not activate the Windows, but you can activate it after the installation. Now here again, this user accounts, here we're gonna delete this user right here. We're gonna name it how you want, and here you can choose which kind of permissions do you want, administrators or users. So I'm gonna go on administrators. Here you can log on the first administrator account created above. So the first one that is created, it will automatically log on your Windows after it's installed. Here I do not recommend you to turn this on, and this do not log on, it means just it will not log on itself. For this, it's for the Microsoft account, but if you don't want Microsoft account, if you want a local account, just click on this one. Now you can choose here if you want, for example, if you choose here this one, add Microsoft online account, offline here, this will ask you to make account if you want and give it a name, but if you do this like here, it will not ask you anything. So I'm gonna scroll down, we're gonna let it here unchecked everything. Here if you have a password policy, for example, to expire after several days, I'm not gonna touch it, I'm gonna leave it on the default. Here again, default. Just make sure all of these settings are the same here. Now here you can have some Windows File Explorer tweaks if you want to hide, you have that settings if you want to show all the files. So I'm gonna leave it again on. I mean, this is all preferences for now. If you want or don't want, this again is a preference. If you want, how you want to show the start menu here. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, but you can of course choose this one to have without this search here. So it all depends on preferences that you want. Here again we can click on remove icons, change icons to display in the taskbar. Here these icons if you want to be hidden. So here I'm gonna leave it again on the default settings. Disable widgets, yes, I do usually disable this, and then left align the taskbar to Windows 11. In Windows 11, do not show Bing results. This is for the start menu. Here, here you will have these Bing results if you search here. So as well, I'm gonna disable that one. Now here, use default titles. Again, we're gonna go all the way down. Again, here we're gonna leave on disabled. Here, system tweaks, we're gonna enable this, enable long paths. And here we're gonna scroll all the way down. We're gonna enable this, disable app suggestions, so the Windows doesn't suggest you applications, and this prevent device encryption. You can of course leave this enabled if you want. If you disable, it will just BitLocker encryption will do it itself now, but if you enable this, it will not encrypt itself, because then it can be really difficult to get your files back. So here we're gonna leave everything here at You can check here for yourself if you want, like disable Edge Startup, boost background mode and all of that stuff. If you want, you can of course delete empty Windows old folder. You can do a lot of things here, so you can choose here what's the best for you. Here we go, scroll back down, visual effects here. This is just for appearance, for best format, performance and all of the settings. I'm just gonna go with default settings again. Here is show desktop icons here, or show these desktop icons. As you can see here, you can choose which one do you want to show. Just show the default if you want. You can choose, of course, which one do you want, which one do you don't want. And here virtual machine support. This is for the virtual machine if you are using, but this will be installed on main PC, so I'm not gonna touch anything of that. This I'm gonna, again, the setup here, I'm gonna leave it as default. Here disable all, and you can just copy the settings if you want. And here, if you want to, as you can see, you can select all the programs or you can remove all the programs. So for example, you don't want this camera app, you can just uncheck it, and for example, if you want this calculator app, it will install. If you uncheck it, it will not install. So you can choose, of course, which one do you want, which one do you don't want. And I'm gonna go scroll a little bit down. Here are some scripts that you can run. And here is all the default I'm gonna leave. Now you can here at the end submit form here. I have already downloaded the ISO file of Windows 11 from the Microsoft. You can just click on this XML file, download XML file, and as you can see here, it automatically downloaded it. Now here, make sure you have this named exactly like this, because if it's not named like this, if for example one letter is not like here auto-unattended, then it will just not work. Make sure it's exactly the same name as you can see here as you get when you download it. So now all you have to do with this file right now is just go to your, you have to plug in your USB, then you have to create an image of Windows 11 just normally with Rufus or with Microsoft Media. Now here with Microsoft Media Creation tool, now all you have to do is to take this file and you have to drag it in the folder of the Windows 11 ISO file. I'm going to show you right now. Now here we're just going to drag this file from here to here like this, and that's pretty much it. After you dragged the file right here, now basically you just have to go close it here and you can just go and install Windows 11, and now I will show you it will install everything automatically without me even touching anything. So here is a quick review how it looks, and as you can see here, it automatically installs the Windows 11 without me even touching the keyboard and mouse. So everything is completed automatically. As you can see, it's super fast and you don't have to wait anything, and it should automatically install everything. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, we are in Windows 11 and it's on the latest version. It's everything as it should. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you find this video useful, and leave a comment if you have any suggestions, and see you next video. Bye.